So, have you ever been there? You're prepping for something really big, maybe like a tough certification exam, and you're putting in the hours, right? Setting up your practice lab, running through exercises.
Doing all the work.
Exactly. But then that little voice creeps in, starts whispering, am I really doing this the right way?
Yeah. Is my setup actually preparing me for the real deal?
Yeah.
Or am I just, spinning my wheels?
Totally. That nagging doubt, it can seriously kill your
It
momentum.
really can.
And for those of you listening who are aiming for the Red Hat Certified System Administrator cert, the RHCSA,
Especially the RHEL 10 version.
right, the EX200 exam focused on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10. There's this super common question that comes up. It's a version of that same doubt.
Which is,
Can you really prepare effectively using Rocky Linux?
yeah.
When the actual target, the exam itself, is RHEL.
Ah, yes. That one comes up a lot. It's a critical question.
It is. So today, our mission really is to just cut through all that confusion, give you a clear answer.
And explain why it's the answer.
Right.
Because that's key for confidence.
Exactly. We're going to dive deep into insights from an RHCSA series, episode 21, which tackled this exact issue.
Looking at the X200 requirements specifically.
Yep. We know you want the solid info without getting, overwhelmed. You just want that confidence that your prep time is well spent.
You want assurance. Makes total sense.
So let's unpack it. Give you what you need to move forward with your training, feeling certain about your tools. Maybe find a few surprises, too.
Sounds good. It's interesting, this whole lab environment question, it pops up constantly.
Right.
And I think it really highlights how hands-on the RHCSA exam is. It's not just theory.
Not at all. Your lab is your, proving ground, your sandbox.
Exactly, where you master the actual skills you'll be tested on.
Yeah.
So making sure that setup is accurate, well, that's understandably top of mind for anyone going for the X200.
It absolutely is. And that leads directly to the big question for so many people trying to become an RHCSA.
Let's hear it again.
Is practicing on Rocky Linux really the same as training on RHEL for that certification? I hear this concern all the time. There's this genuine fear, I think, of investing hours and hours into a setup that might not be, truly equivalent.
Which would be a huge waste of valuable study time, absolutely.
So, what's the verdict?
Well, this is where we can deliver some genuinely good news. The short answer,
Yeah.
which we can state with absolute confidence, is an emphatic yes.
Yes. Okay.
For the RHCSA exam, practicing on Rocky Linux, for all practical intents and purposes, exactly the same as training on RHEL.
Wow. Okay. That's going to be a massive relief for a lot of listeners, I bet.
I think so.
But you can't just drop a yes that big without backing it up. Right. My gut reaction, and probably the listeners too, is, okay, why?
Fair question. Needs a solid foundation.
What's the fundamental reason for that confidence? I'm guessing it goes deeper than just, looking similar on the surface.
It absolutely does. And this really gets to the heart of understanding open source philosophy. Okay, the foundational truth, the absolute core reason they are equivalent. Both Rocky Linux and RHEL are built from the exact same source code.
The exact same.
The exact same. This isn't just like a happy accident or some loose similarity. It's because Red Hat makes its RHEL source code publicly available.
Right. The open source commitment.
Precisely. So projects like Rocky Linux, they take that identical blueprint, literally the same recipe, the same ingredients, and they meticulously rebuild it. Compile it all again.
But they're not imitating, they're rebuilding.
Exactly. And then they distribute it. So what you get with Rocky isn't an imitation. It's a direct, carefully recompiled version of the very same OS.
Okay, that's a really helpful way to think about it. Maybe two different car brands using the exact same engine design from a specialist?
That's a great analogy. The core driving experience of that engine is identical, even if the badge on the hood or the paint color is different.
That makes so much sense. So it's not a clone, it's more like a genetic twin with different clothes on.
You could put it that way, yeah. Especially considering the precision needed for the RHCSA.
Definitely. But, okay, how does this identical DNA, as you put it, translate to the actual hands-on stuff in the lab, day to day?
Right, the practical side.
Are the tools, the commands, are they really indistinguishable?
They really are for all the tasks relevant to the exam. This identical source code means the hands-on experience feels the same when you're doing sysadmin work.
Okay, give me some specifics.
Let's talk practical similarities. Identical tools. The command line shell, your main way of interacting, it's the same. Bash, usually.
Okay.
And all the essential commands you use constantly. DAS to see files, CD to move around, grep for searching, system deal for managing services.
The bread and butter stuff.
Exactly. They are a perfect 100% match between Rocky and RHEL. Your muscle memory, the syntax, how the tools behave, it's all identical.
That's huge. So if I learn how to, say, start and stop the web server service using systemdiddle on Rocky.
You're doing the exact same thing, typing the exact same command, expecting the exact same result on RHEL.
No surprises. That's incredibly reassuring. But what about the structure underneath, the file system, where files live? Is that identical too?
Spot on.
Yeah.
Not just the commands, but the file system structure is also a mirror image.
Really?
Yeah. So when you're navigating directories, editing config files, managing user data, the paths, the locations you learn on Rocky, they are precisely what you'll find on RHEL.
So, etc. for config files.
Yep. var for logs and changing data.
R for applications.
All exactly where you'd expect them to be on both systems. It's this seamless consistency.
Okay.
And that consistency means any command line skill you master on Rocky Linux is directly fully transferable to RHEL. You're not learning a Rocky way.
You're learning the enterprise Linux way.
Exactly, which is what the RHCSA actually tests.
Okay, so that covers like the vast majority of what matters, right? The 99.9% core functions, commands, layout, all the stuff you're directly tested on. That's a really strong case for them being equivalent for the exam.
It really is.
But, you know, in tech, nothing's ever completely, totally identical down to the last bit, is it?
That's a fair point. There's always that little bit of nuance.
So what about that remaining tiny fraction, that 0.1%? What are the differences, however small? And I guess more importantly, do any of them actually impact the EX200 exam?
Excellent question. Transparency is important here. So the most obvious difference, it's purely superficial. Branding.
Ah, like the logos and names.
Exactly. You'll see Rocky Linux instead of Red Hat Enterprise Linux on boot screens, maybe in system info commands. Package names sometimes reflect it, but that's just aesthetics.
Like the car's paint job again.
Precisely. It has zero functional impact on doing system administration tasks.
Yeah.
It doesn't change how the commands work or where files are.
Okay, so cosmetics aside, what else falls into that non-critical 0.1%?
Well, another key difference is the support model, how you get help.
Right. Rocky is community supported.
Exactly. It thrives on community collaboration, users, devs, enthusiasts helping each other out, contributing docs, finding solutions. It's a great ecosystem.
Whereas RHEL has the paid Red Hat support.
Correct. RHEL offers a commercial, subscription-based support model directly from Red Hat. That gets you enterprise-level service, guaranteed response times, direct access to Red Hat engineers.
Which is super important for businesses running it in production.
Absolutely. But this difference is about how you get help and updates in a real-world production environment, or how your company handles its infrastructure security and stability.
Not about how the OS itself functions for the exam tasks.
Correct. Doesn't change the operating system's behavior or the commands you need to know for the X200.
And yeah, in the exam, you're not exactly picking up the phone to call Red Hat support mid-task anyway.
Definitely not. So that difference, while significant in the real world, is completely irrelevant for test day.
Okay. You also mentioned earlier how Rocky rebuilds RHEL's source code. Is that part of this 0.1%, or is that more fundamental?
It's sort of both, in a way. It's fundamental because it guarantees the similarity we've been talking about, but the process itself, the act of rebuilding, is technically a difference in how the distribution is produced. Rocky's build process meticulously recompiles RHEL's public source. That's the how behind the what of their similarity.
Got it. It's the mechanism ensuring they are the same.
Right. And the key point, the so what for you, the listener prepping for the exam. These minor differences, branding, support model, the build process details, they have absolutely zero impact on the hands-on tasks you need to pass the AX200 exam.
Zero impact. That's clear.
You just won't hit a scenario, a question, or a system behavior during the test where these distinctions actually matter.
Okay, that provides fantastic clarity. So basically, strip away the labels and the support contract details, and you're working with the exact same engine underneath.
That's a very accurate way to put it.
This is genuinely a game changer for a lot of people, I think, especially those maybe worried about costs or access.
Definitely.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? You're dedicating your precious time, your energy to mastering these skills. What's a practical takeaway?
It means your skills are 100% transferable. Every single command you learn, every configuration file you tweak and understand, every troubleshooting technique you practice on Rocky Linux. It directly equips you for RHEL.
No loss in translation.
None. Your time, your effort. It's effectively invested, no compromise, you don't need to worry about it. You're learning something slightly off that won't apply on exam day.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Exactly. You're learning the precise skills needed for the RHEL environment you'll face in the EX200.
That is an incredibly powerful message. Okay, so if we're recommending Rocky Linux as like the go-to for lab prep, what's the best lab strategy right now for someone aiming at those RHEL 10 objectives?
Good practical question.
Should they be hunting down a specific version of Rocky or waiting?
Right now, for folks preparing with RHEL 10 objectives in mind, our recommendation today is simple. Go ahead and confidently start with Rocky Linux 9.
Rocky 9, okay. Even though the target is RHEL 10.
Yes. Because Rocky 9 is stable, it's widely available. You can often spin it up with just one click on cloud platforms like Linode, for example. Super easy to get going.
Makes sense. Avoid setup friction.
And the reason this works so well, even targeting RHEL 10, is that the core command line skills for the RHCSA, they are fundamental. They stay remarkably consistent across these minor versions of enterprise Linux.
So the basics don't change much between 9 and 10.
For the RHCSA level tasks, the foundational administration stuff, not significantly. RHEL 10 will have new features, sure, but the core tasks tested at EX200 are very well covered by practicing on Rocky 9. You can build that essential muscle memory right away.
That's very practical advice. So no need to wait for Rocky 10 to become easily available and maybe delay starting your studies.
Exactly. Don't put off your learning. Start with Rocky 9 now. You can be fully confident in that approach.
Okay, but looking ahead, what's the plan for when Rocky 10 does become that easy one-click option?
Good point. As soon as Rocky Linux 10 becomes a standard, easy deployment option on platforms like Linode, which we expect will happen, a little while after RHEL 10 itself stabilizes and becomes widely adopted.
Then you switch.
Then the natural recommendation will be to pivot your labs to that newer version, Rocky 10.
And pivoting just means?
Just spinning up a new VM or container with the Rocky 10 image, maybe migrating any specific practice files or setups you had. Should be pretty straightforward.
Gotcha. So you're always using the easiest, most stable, and most directly comparable environment that's readily available.
That's the goal. Keeps that perfect match for your RHCSA prep going.
So it's a flexible strategy, always aiming for that sweet spot, easy access and direct equivalence. And the ultimate payoff here, thinking about exam day, this really helps with those pretest jitters, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest benefit, perhaps.
No surprises when you sit down for the actual EX200.
Precisely. This whole strategy ensures that when you walk into that RHCSA exam, the console, the environment, it's going to feel exactly like your practice lab.
That familiarity must be priceless under pressure.
It really is. It means you can just eliminate that whole layer of anxiety or those unexpected hurdles that could throw you off your rhythm.
Right. No wasting time trying to figure out why something looks slightly different.
Exactly. You can focus 100% on the tasks themselves, confident in your muscle memory, confident in your knowledge of the system, because it feels just like home.
This whole deep dive, I really hope it's confirmed for you, the listener, that using Rocky Linux isn't just, good enough for your prep.
It's more than good enough.
It's an exceptionally effective, practically perfect path to getting ready for the RHCSA. The bottom line seems really clear.
Yeah, I think so. Rocky Linux is essentially your free, professional-grade key to mastering RHEL for this exam.
It gives you that accessible, yet completely equivalent environment to really sharpen those sysadmin skills without any compromise.
Spot on.
So, now that you have this definitive answer, this confidence about your tools and how effective they are, it does raise another important question, doesn't it?
Where do you go from here?
Exactly. What does your game plan look like now for actually using these tools? How are you going to structure your hands-on practice armed with this confidence to really nail RHEL 10 concepts and grab that RHCSA certification?
That's the crucial next step.
We've confirmed you have the right tool for the job. What's your next strategic move to conquer the exam? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Okay, mull that over, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.